So, part two of module two, challenges in AI development. As we said, there are several other challenges also, like the data bias is a very big challenge, actually. Data bias occur when unrepresentative or incomplete training data happened. That leads to a bias or unfair AI results when the data doesn't match the target population, for example. There are several types of data bias. Sometimes during the sampling, you create some bias when the AI training data isn't representative of the entire population. Sometimes the measurement bias happened for the data when the method used to collect the measurement, the measured data is inaccurate or incomplete. For example, if the AI model trained on data when for your self-report. So when you self-report, it means that in intentionally, so you get some kind of bias toward yourself or toward your company, or sometimes the company report itself. So sometimes the reporting itself create the problem, the bias problem with the data. So sometimes you train or you get the data for the sales, and only you report the successful sales. So the AI model produce biased decision. So when you have bias in the data and that data somehow lead to a bias decision by the AI, it means that you have a lot of ethical considerations. For example, nowadays the fair decision is part of the EU regulation. So you have to make sure that the AI model doesn't give discrimination towards some minorities, for example. That also happened for inaccurate predictions. As we said, when you train with the bad data or imbalanced data or biased data, let's say, that will not give an accurate or reliable decision. And sometimes when you have biased decision by the AI model, that cause harm to the reputation of the company, or so the model always gives biased decision, which means the reputation in the market is not good later on. So case study of bias, there are many bias studies on internet. This bias is a big research area. You can see many results reporting bias. For example, the skin color is a very common issue with the accuracy for face recognition. For example, you can see that always the darker skin female gives lower accuracy with many models. Maybe the Microsoft model is slightly better, but still for the face recognition. IBM and Microsoft somehow they are Microsoft actually giving a good decision, and there are many case studies about that on internet. Data bias, as we said, how to mitigate this, how to reduce the bias. Training data is the central point. You have to make sure that all the minorities, all the groups are representative. The all the population, for example, One technique is data augmentation when you have lower data for some population or lower data for some minority or some group. You can increase this data by data augmentation. Monitoring the performance of the AI. There are many techniques for bias you can measure. Audit of a data set to identify and remove any unfair or discriminatory patterns. Data interpretability. This is also part of the interpretability in general, is the ability to explain how an AI model arrived to its prediction or decision. So understanding the factor or the feature is the most important thing here. You have to understand the model output also, how this data and the feature are affecting the model output. This is very important to build the trust. Always it's good to give interpretation for the decision. And also it's good for privacy, for security, and for reliability. There are many techniques. One technique is LIME, is a technique that provides local interpretable explanation for individual prediction made by the model. LIME and SHAP value. This is also the very important model, very important technique. This interpretability will contribute to the explainability by the model, refer to the ability to understand, interpret how an AI system arrive at the prediction or decision, as we said. So now this is also a regulation for a requirement by regulation for the EU to make every decision made by an AI that affect human life or things like that, that should be interpretable. So that's very important for the transparency also. Identify the bias also. And make sure that the decision made by the AI system are understandable and fair. That's also a challenge actually for the development. Explainability also LIME and SHAP, as we said, for the interpretability. Sometimes they are using it interchangeably, so interpretability and explainability, that's also the same. So you can see, for example, this is a case for making a decision, and you can see that it gives you a decision, but also explain why the decision has been made. Because, for example, there are several signs of making sure that the face is happy. So when the decision comes and it says that the face is happy because of the person is laughing, for example. It's a very, very simple case, but this is how it made for the image processing. So there are many techniques for explainability, and this is also a very big area. Data fairness, type of fairness. Fairness means that ensuring that the system is not biased, so it means it is fair. Also, just as a case of interpretability and explainability, the fairness is going with the data bias and other and those techniques that we explain. So type of fairness, we want to make sure that the equal output or equal decision for a demographical group, for example, the race and gender and skin color and so on. And also we want to make sure that the decision fair and giving equal opportunity for equal chance for different demographical group, equal accuracy, equal performance of the system. There's the AI system, we want to make it sure that it is fair and there is no social bias. So, like say, um, the one of the challenge here is that, as we said, lack of diverse and representative data. That's very important. Best practices for fairness and AI governance and AI development is designing unbiased and diverse training data set. So you can see that it is all about the data, the fairness. So it's all about the data. That means it is data-centric problem, actually. So improving fairness, as we said, for the data, you have to focus on the training data. Sometimes the in-depth evaluation of the model, however, I do believe that it is still all about the data, is not about the model, because the model is trained by the data. If the data is not fair, it means that the model will not be fair anyway. Feature engineering and pre-processing, sometimes this will cause um, a lot of unfair decisions. So you have to make sure that you are removing some features, for example, that affect the decision, unfair decision. Explainability is very important to improve the decision and to understand that the decision is fair. Trust also is going for the fairness and reliability, and is the same direction, is the confidence that the people have the ability of the AI system to function as expected. This is very important and essential for the adoption of AI. People need to trust the AI, and then they will adopt it. If they feel that the AI system is not fair, or if they don't trust, they don't build the trust, then it means that they will not use it widely in their work or in their life. How to do this? It will come back again to the fairness and reliability and things like that. There are several techniques, for example, transparency and explainability. Testing and testing and testing and validation. That's very important to show that you have done a lot of testing to your system, to your AI system. Security and robustness also is very important. For example, if you follow these things, that will build the trust for the AI system. Lack of trust in is a reality nowadays. A lot of people are not trusted to AI. Also, you can see that, for example, there are many results coming out these days, many news feeds about some results given by the ChatGPT, for example, and other large language models. And you can see that a lot of people complaining about some results, some feedback that they got. 9 of the 10 organizations across countries have encountered ethical issues resulting from the use of AI. So you can see that a lot of people are reporting things like that, unethical issues and ethical issues, maybe, and reliability issues, fairness, and several other things. Even you can see that, for example, these large language models are creating some historical evidence that didn't happen in history, actually. So that's very important to test and build the trust with the AI before. It's very important to test and verify to build the trust when you deploy the AI to the normal user.